Hello and good morning, my friends. I want to apologize for how this looks. I guess from the previous day, innocently wrote in marker, and now it just looks like garbage, like I found it in the garbage. So, yeah, that's too bad. But before I do, I just want to kind of cue myself. Long story short, it just helps my posting it to YouTube. I want to show this is what we're doing. This is today. You'll get the notes in a second, but I just want to talk about yesterday. I had a good question. Somebody asked, and I hope I'm getting this right. You talk about solving what x is, and then you say what x is, and then say what it can't be. What does that mean? First of all, for 8c, I think I was solving, and I was like x equals 3/4 and -5, or whatever, and then I just went on. Non-permissibles, I forgot to draw the line through it. X can't equal. When you're doing non-permissibles, it's what it can't equal. If you have a fraction, 1 over a cannot equal 0. If you have 1 over, it doesn't matter what the top is, x squared minus 1, that's the difference of squares. That's x minus 1 times x plus 1. X cannot equal positive or -1 when this is the bottom of a fraction, when that's the denominator. As far as when we're solving, sometimes you'll get something like 5a over 3a minus 4 and 2a plus 5. Okay? Some of you look at this and you're like, yeah, well, I know how to do that. Some of you, this slows you down a little bit. Whatever value of a would make either of these equal 0, those are not allowed. That's not permissible. That makes it undefined. So to figure out what it is, some of you can look at this and see what the answer is right away. If you can't, you have to solve for a. Find out what makes this thing 0. And so you set it up like that, 3a minus 4 equal to 0. We want to find out what does a equal that would make this thing 0. So you solve. Add 4 to both sides. Divide both sides by 3. So one of the non-permissibles, we just solved a equals this, but a cannot equal 4/3. Otherwise, it would make this set of brackets 0. Now, there was another question. I'm not sure if I totally understood it, but it's like, well, it was negative and now it's positive. That's just the way it works when you're kind of solving. When they go to the other side of the equation, it's like here, add 4 to both sides. 4 plus -4 is 0. 4 plus 0 is 4. There's no other negatives or anything. That's what's going to happen. Same idea for this. 2a plus 5 equals 0. So we're solving for a to find out what it cannot equal. Subtract both 5 from both sides. 2a equals -5. Now it's negative. Divide by 2. -5 over 2. So a equals this in order for this whole thing to be 0, which means a cannot equal that. I hope that helps clarify some of my mistakes and stuff. I don't like wasting paper. All right, so here we go. Notes. Now, you might want to copy this down after I talk about it because it might not be super clear. I apologize. I'm going to stay. That's why I wrote this in just a regular ink, which is really dumb because I'm not going to use this page again. But anyways, I'm going to just try not to wreck the notes. Multiplying and dividing rational expressions. Don't forget the non-permissibles. That's what this whole thing really is about. The non-permissibles. Super important. So you're going to get polynomials, you're going to multiply, you're going to divide the polynomials, and cancel, which is essentially simplifying. First thing you need to do is factor if it's not done for you. So everything's split apart, because you want everything kind of split apart so you can do your canceling. That just makes it way easier. So you're going to multiply or divide. Now dividing, I put an asterisk there, because if you, I can use a marker. If you have, I'll just keep it simple, like x minus 1 over x plus 1 divided by x minus 1 over x plus 1. Now it's x plus 2, so it doesn't all cancel. Now, right now, -1 and -2, those are non-permissibles. But when you divide, you flip and then multiply. So this is going to become x minus 1 over x plus 1 times, and you flip this, x plus 2 over x minus 1. Now, 1 is also a non-permissible. So that's why there's an asterisk there, because it gets tricky. So basically, x can't equal 1 or negative 2. Positive 1 or negative 2 and negative 1 because of over here. But this one flips. So if it's part of the denominator ever, that's a non-permissible. Okay? So canceling, remember the non-permissibles in step 1 and the non-permissibles when dividing, blah, blah, blah. I said all that. Moving away from the check your understandings. I'm going to do 6A, 6C, and 8B. Hopefully those will kind of help. Otherwise, this is your assignment. This is a bigger assignment. Sorry. Got a good song in my head. I had music playing in the background last year when I was recording something, and YouTube muted it because copyright, blah, blah, blah. So I'm afraid to even sing it. And you guys are thankful I'm not singing it. All right. So first one we're going to do is 6A. 6A is on page 538. 6A, page 538. Simplify each expression. Okay. 3x over 2 times x minus 3. 2 times x minus 3 times. So this is already factored for you. It's not always going to be. It's just baby steps. 9x squared. Okay. Two things I want to say. You don't have to do all the steps that I'm going to do. Some of you are seeing this right away. Oh, you, blah, blah, there's an X, 3 and the 9, 8 and the 2, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to do every single little step just to make sure, and then I'll move away from it a little bit. If you can't see the canceling right away and what's going to happen, like with this 3 and this 9, the 8 and the 2, the x and the x squared, then let's fully expand it. These are factored for you, but let's factor them more. And get rid of the dot. We'll just multiply everything. So 3, so this equals, this is the same thing. 3 times x, I say get rid of the dot. We're putting dots with everything. Actually, let's do brackets. 3 times x. Now 8 is 2 times 2 times 2. You may think this is unnecessary, and it might be, and that's fine. Times x minus 3. Top times top, right? When you're multiplying fractions, bottom times bottom. So now we're going to do this to the bottom. 2 times x minus 3. 9 is 3 times 3. X is x times x. So we got this bad boy totally spread out. Again, you don't need to go this far, but you can. So now let's just cancel everything we can. 1, 3 on top, 1, 3 on the bottom. See, before, if we didn't do this, you would say, you would just cancel that 3, cancel the 9, put a 3 there, which is what I'm going to be doing in the future. I'm just showing you the baby steps because we don't have time to do this all the time. An x, is there an x on the bottom? Yes. Doesn't matter which one you cancel. 2 and a 2, which would have been the 8 and the 2, right? Because there's no other 2's here, the 4 hangs back. X minus 3, x minus 3. Now you might do this, and then you write down what's kind of left over and go, ah, crap, I forgot something. That's okay, fix it there. So we've crossed all that stuff out. 2 times 2 is 4. There's nothing else left, right? And then 3 times x. That's your final answer. But is it your final answer? What's missing? I can't hear you. The non-permissibles. X can't equal 3 or 0. Because if it's 3, 3 minus 3 is 0, 2 times 0 is 0. That sucks. If it's 0, 0 times 9 is 0. Undefined. X cannot equal 3 or 0. That's your final answer. That's with as many steps as is humanly possible, I think, anyway. Okay? Everything comes down from this. When you divide, you're just flipping this thing, but you're doing everything the same. So that was 6A. What else did I say I was going to do? 6C? Holy, that's a big one. And it's divide. Okay, 6C. Let's write it as it is in the textbook to start. 2 times x minus 4 times x plus 5 all over 3 times x plus 1. Now it's divided by, which means like you should have buzzers going off in your head. I got to pay attention to what's on top as well for non-permissibles. 4 times x plus 5 over x plus 1 squared. Cool, cool, cool. So I'm going to flip these, and I'm going to spread this one out, and I'm going to spread the 4 out. You don't have to. Do what works for you. So rewriting this, 2 times x minus 4 times x plus 5. Now the bottom is now on top. X plus 1, x plus 1, because that's squared, right? Sometimes people still think x plus 1 squared is x squared plus 1 squared. It's not. It's not. 3 times x plus 1. 4 is 2 times 2. And then x plus 5. Okay, we've got everything listed. So now we're going to cancel. It doesn't even take that long. Like I'm talking about, like I do every single step. It really doesn't take that long to set it up like this. 2 and a 2. Is there a 3 on top? No. Be careful. Don't cross something out and then start looking. There's no other 3. X minus 4? No. X plus 5? Yes. X plus 1? Yes. Looks like we're done. Yes. Equals, so this is x minus 4 times x plus 1 over 3 times 2, which is 6. Now, I have to make a decision whether I want this to be your final answer. I don't like this. I want it to be multiplied. Yeah, I'm going to tell you that. It needs to be multiplied, okay? Please, final step, because this is a little bit in between land. So do your FOIL. If you don't know this, you need to figure it out. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that, unless you ask me on your own. But during lessons, I'm not going to talk about stuff that should be done. So this is x, and so it's minus 3x minus 4 over 6. Non-permissibles. X can't equal, might run out of space here. X can't equal, let's go to the original, can't equal negative 1. Don't forget the left side too. It's not just the right. So x can't equal negative 1 or negative 5. Cool, cool, cool. Hopefully I'm not going to make any mistakes today like I did yesterday. 6A, 6C, let's go to 8B. Here's a monster of a question, I think, if I remember correctly. Find my frame. Oh, yeah. 8B. This is page. I'm jamming this up in the corner because it's going to take some space. 2x squared. Should I do a division one? Yeah, let's go a little harder. Let's do 8c, okay? 8c. Sorry for the audible. Just want to make it a little, but that's not. I want to do factoring. Nope, we're doing 8b. Sorry, we're doing 8b. Everything's the same when you divide. You just have to flip them over. I don't want to do all the hardest questions for the examples. Okay, here we go. 2x squared minus x minus 1 over x squared plus 2x minus 3 times 4x squared plus 28x plus 48 all over 2x squared minus 13x minus 7. Okay, so if it's not clear, you need to factor. You will have to do some factoring. This is the question as it is in the textbook. You need to do some factoring. Factoring we covered a while ago, so I don't want to spend a lot of time on that. I'm just going to do it. Okay, so for this first one, and if you need to do it in more steps, that's fine. 2x, x, it's going to be negative plus, is that right? Yes. On the bottom, it is x 3 minus 1 times. So here, first there's going to be a 4 that comes out of this, whatever's common, right? So it's x squared plus 7x plus 12. I'll come back to that because that's not done. One more step, 2x, x, 2 times 7 is 14. Okay, so I need to factor this part yet. One more step before I can do all my cancel-loonies. 2x plus 1 times x minus 1 times 4 times 3 and 4 plus 3 plus 4 x minus 1 x plus 3 2x plus 1 x minus 7. Okay, now I'm just having a quick look because I see this 4 and I'm thinking, should I have factored out a 2 or something from the bottom? But I can't. Whoopsies. Settle down. So now I'm going to start canceling. 2x plus 1. Wah-cha. X minus 1? Yep. X plus 3? Yep. X plus 4? No. Okay. So I rewrite 4 times x plus 4 over x minus 7 equals 4x plus 16 all over x minus 7. Non-permissibles. Now the best place in here to look is this step. Everything's done here, and I can just kind of make a list. X can't equal 1, can't equal negative 3, can't equal negative a half, can't equal 7. It's a motley crew of non-permissibles, but that's how it goes. Now, I was looking at 8C. That's a division question. So you do everything the same except you flip these guys. Once you factor, then flip them and multiply. I don't think this is super difficult, but it's easy to make little mistakes along the way. It's tedious. All right? Let me know how it goes. Peace.